It is very humid in Miami. I come from the land of drought. Please send us your water.
Yes. I just want to say I like the noise Stephanie made when she got into her chair.
What did I do?
You kind of had to like launch yourself from this thing.
I know.
She's so short. She was like,
Yeah, I was like, ugh.
I'm like never taller than anybody, but this is kind of cool. I like it.
I think I'm technically a little person.
Really?
Yes. If I wanted to get disability, I think I could, right?
Are you like right on the cusp? Are
I'm
you like
4'9".
Is that? Does anybody know that's?
Yeah, I can
He
get.
knows. So you can.
Yeah, 4'8" to 4'11". Huh.
Good to know.
Good to know.
We're learning a lot today.
But I would never do that because I would save that for people who really need the disability.
Although
money.
parking in LA can be pretty hellish, so I'm just saying I would totally take advantage.
Oh, for the little
The handicap
placard.
thing? I'm awful. I'm sorry.
Bad Jupiter.
So how does it feel for both of you guys to play or to voice such iconic roles like Sailor Moon and Sailor Jupiter?
That's pretty cool. Yes, it's very, very cool. And I just want to clarify, I'm sure you guys all know this, but we did not do the voices of Sailor Moon and Sailor Jupiter originally, like 20 years ago. Like Amanda would have been 7. Yeah. So we're doing the redub of the original animated version, uncut, with no changes to names.
No cousins.
Or gender preferences. And we're also voicing it for Crystal, which is the new animation that is closer to the manga. But it's pretty cool. It's really, really amazing. I'm kind of really blown away because it's like growing up, I was like in college or high school or something like that. And so I wasn't really into Sailor Moon, but of course I've heard of it. Like I knew it was a big thing. And I think I didn't realize how big a deal it was until, I started working on it and doing these conventions, and it's like you will see families and generations of like, I watched this when I was a kid and now my daughter's watching it, and I just think it's pretty cool, and I love anything that's like strong women and go girls, and yeah.
No, I totally agree. Like, I love it in line when these like little adorable girls are dressed up as Sailor Moon characters, and then their parents are also dressed up as Sailor Moon characters, and they're like, I'm introducing them to the show. It's like 2 generations. It's like a hand-me-down, but it's the best hand-me-down ever.
And you like watched it when you were a kid, right?
So this is like so like, I don't know, is meta the right word? Where it's
Yeah.
like, I grew up watching the show. I grew up watching like the 90s dub on like Cartoon Network and Toonami and all that, and like I would run around in my backyard like punching and kicking and being like, yelling Jupiter attacks, and then like I grew up and I got to audition for it and I got the part that I wanted. So it's like I'm playing my own childhood hero, which is kind of weird.
Because you had mentioned backstage that Sailor Jupiter was your favorite, and now you're Sailor Jupiter.
Yeah, I was saying that there's this other girl in it was like 5th grade, I think. We were all each like a Sailor Guardian. Like my friend was Usagi, and we had a couple. We didn't have a Mercury, but we had 2 Jupiters, and I was like, no, I'm the main Jupiter, and the other one's like, well, I can actually ice skate, because I played hockey, but she was like a figure skater, and Jupiter's more of a figure skater. And she's like, oh, I'm this and that, and I can cook, and I couldn't cook. So like she kind of had more claims to it, but now I'm like, well, where are you now, Lacey? Who's Sailor Jupiter now? That's the whole reason I went into acting. It was a 5th grade grudge.
She could be Sailor Mercury now. There you go.
But no, it's awesome.
So if you guys have any questions, I urge you not to be shy. They seem pretty open with what they're willing to answer. So if you guys want to, there's a microphone. There's a microphone right there. Gentlemen with your hand
It's
raised.
by the pole 34.
Pole 34.
The poles are numbered?
Yeah, the poles are numbered.
And just, speak right into it so we can
Amanda's
hear
only
you.
finding this out on the last day.
Is that something that was important to know? Like, I would have changed my con experience if I knew that there were
Well,
the
you
poles
might have
were
not
numbered.
got lost as much.
Please, I found my way.
Sorry. Okay, I do.
I cannot see.
I'm just wondering, what's your favorite season of Sailor Moon, whether it's Crystal or the originals?
For me, I would have to say, I actually didn't see all of Super S, and I didn't see all of Stars because they didn't really release them all completely or something, or like Stars never really came out over here.
Yeah, Stars never came out officially.
I saw some of Stars when I lived in Germany because my dad was in the Air Force, but again, I didn't fully understand it, and it's especially hard because like they are men who turn into women, and in German there's all these different pronouns used, and I got real confused. But I really, really liked S, which is the 3rd season.
S is great.
Because I feel like the show grew up with its audience. Like, you know, the first season, it's like Usagi's just kind of getting the hang of it. Season 2, she's still getting the hang of it, but she's getting better. And then S is really where she has to like delve into like some real moral and ethical like conundrums. And I feel like you'll get there, but it's really interesting with like, it's like, are Uranus and Neptune right, or are, like, you know, is Usagi right? So
We haven't recorded that yet, and I didn't watch it. So
Yeah.
for me so far, it's probably the first season of Classic, because I'm immature at heart, and it's like, to me, it's like, I love comedy. And it's like the funniest stuff. Like,
You'll love the third season because you get villains who play Twister.
oh, looking forward to that.
It's pretty. I think it turns everything up to 11 in season 3. So I'm excited.
It's great. Thank you.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome. I have a tiara. Do you want me to put it on? I just got it. Like, have it in my purse. My deodorant exploded in my purse, so hopefully it's not covered in deodorant.
So your bag smells good.
Yeah, my bag smells amazing. My armpits don't.
Your transformation is complete.
Yeah, it's like that was like my chill transformation. I've got like my plaid. I'm like Seattle Sailor Jupiter. I'm like,
You're
what
wearing the Jupiter colors,
I
and your
am.
bag is like greenish too.
Yeah, my mom got me that bag because she said my old bag was disgusting. She judges me a lot.
Did you have a question?
Yeah. What are your favorite things about the characters you voice?
What are my favorite things? For Usagi, I think, I love just how innocent and funny and clumsy she is. I think it's funny when people like fall down. So I love that, and then I also just love that she's so like honest with stuff. You know, like anytime when she uses her her power where she can transform to look like anybody, she always has to say beautiful or pretty in front of it, you know, which is kind of superficial, but kind of, I think, like just her being like really honest and not being PC, which I kind of like love about her.
I feel like that's one thing that I'm getting more as an adult than I got as a kid. As a kid, I'm like, be responsible, be a leader, but now I totally get it. Because it's like, if I was 14, I would also be like, yeah, make me into a groupie for this band so I can get backstage and kiss one of them. Like, I feel like the writers of the show actually understood, like, what would a normal person do if they got superpowers? They totally abuse that stuff. But Jupiter, one of my favorite things about her, well, the reason I gravitated towards her even as a kid was because I was always kind of a tomboy, but I also, you know, like I was still a girl, and so I had that like battling duality in me all the time of like, I wanted to play with the boys, and I wanted them to take me seriously, but I also wanted them to kiss me, and it was just like one of those things where it's like, I too would pick them up and throw them over my head sometimes, just as you do. But no, like I was the kind of girl who like, I played hockey, I still play hockey, but I played soccer for 7 years, like I was that kid, but I also was like, I like Disney princesses, and I like to twirl, and I like to buy tiaras at conventions and stuff like that. So like, I felt like Jupiter captures that beautifully, where she's really tough, she's really gung-ho, but she's also very nurturing, very kind, and she's, you know, she's got the feminine balanced alongside the masculine, and she doesn't apologize for it. And I think that's great.
Thank you.
Hello. Oh, that's kind of, you're gonna have to bend down, sir.
That's like for our height. Yeah.
Well, the first question I wanted to ask was, in Sailor Moon Crystal and in the manga, Usagi has a tendency to like go totally gaga and crush on girls. What do you two think of that?
Go gaga over what?
Go gaga and like generally crush on girls way more than she did in the 90s anime, which was never.
Oh, I mean, you know what? It's weird, but I feel like, okay, the concept of girl crush, I feel like when I was growing up, it didn't really exist. I mean, it existed, but nobody like labeled it and stuff like that. And like now there is like, it's more open, like, oh, I totally have a girl crush on so-and-so. And I just think because Usagi is so free and open and honest, like if she sees another girl and she has a girl crush on, it's so in line with the character to be like, oh my God, that girl is so pretty. Oh my God, that girl is so smart. You know, like, I think that, I don't know, it's just who she is. And I have girl crushes on people all the time.
I have girl crushes on some of the guests here. I'm like, oh my God, that person's gonna be here. Oh my
She
God.
has like a girl crush on everybody and a boy crush on
And a boy crush on
everybody.
everybody.
Like everybody.
It's Like,
Who
was
are your
it-
crushes that are here at the convention?
No, I'm not gonna say that.
Why not? We're amongst friends.
Yeah, it's
You're
a
just-
private,
yeah.
intimate room, right?
They're just all signing back there right now.
But yeah, I remember reading on Tumblr. It's very interesting because I'm on Tumblr like a 13-year-old girl, I guess. My sister got me into it, but like I remember reading about that. I was like, oh, that's interesting. Like, whether it's a girl crush or whether she actually is like bisexual, as some people have said. I'm like, I think it's Naoko Takeuchi did a lot of. I hope I pronounced that right. I don't want to be like a poser. I'm like, and then they're like, oh, she's not a real fan. But I think she did some pretty interesting things. So I wouldn't put it past her to make it that she was actually bisexual. Like either way, I'm like, yay, because I mean, she made like it was 1992, and there was Zoisite and Kunzite, and there was Uranus and Neptune, and I'm like, looking back, I don't know any other shows that were doing that at the
progressive
time.
at the time.
So
yeah.
it's like, either way, I'm down with it. I don't know. That's not very. I'm just like, I'm down with it.
The other thing I just want to say, it's not really a question so much as Stephanie Sheh has been in a lot of things that I've loved, and I really watch anime, Eureka 7, RPGs, especially Valkyrie Profile, Silmeria, and Neptunia, of course, and Amanda too. I loved you as mages.
Thank you.
But one of the things that I wanted to talk about was this one particular game where she pretty much only did the battle voices, but the game itself was so amazing. It's called Legend of Heroes: Trails in the Sky, and I've tweeted about it a couple of times. I don't want to overdo it because I don't want to be obnoxious on Twitter. And the game itself is so amazing, and she plays this really awesome main character called Estelle Bright. And I'd just like to say that even though most of the game is not voiced, just the fact that she did a little bit of that voice, it already has me associating her voice with that character, and I'm really glad to do that because it's just an amazing work. I love that her name is on it, even if it's just a small little thing.
Thank you. Thanks.
That's a nice
Very
compliment.
That was very nice. I'm blushing. He's playing it now. Yeah. Thanks.
That happened.
The other day.
Yeah, you too. Here's a Luna Man.
That sounds like some sort of like 70s film.
Yeah.
He's the Luna Man.
Ow!
I just want to say, first of all, my heart's beating so fast right now. All my friends make fun of me because I watch Sailor Moon, but I don't care. It's
No.
amazing.
No, you're awesome.
Real
Thank
men
you.
watch Sailor Moon.
Yes.
Yes.
That needs to be on a T-shirt.
Was it?
Yeah, no, it should be.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, trademark that right now.
I just wanted to ask, what is your favorite quotes from the original Sailor Moon?
Like from Sailor Moon Classic
Yeah.
that we've recorded so far.
I don't know, man. There's like she says so many funny things.
Oh,
I mean-
you do have a lot of really great.
But I don't feel like it's a quote, like, like stupid purple pleated pants, which was not in the Japanese that we added, was really funny. And then, hey, I recognize those pants was pretty funny. I think I like the call outs, just even like the Moon Prism Power makeup, because it's so iconic and it's also sounds like that in Japanese. Like she's not saying Suki something. How do you say
Something.
makeup in Japanese? I don't know, but so yeah, those would be my favorites.
I'm like trying to think of like all the lines I really like a lot of your lines. Like there was one like she has a lot of like banter, especially with Ray, and like you have one where it's like in the last episode of season 1 where it's like cold and you're like and Ray's like, oh, shut up, like if you were busy doing this and that, you wouldn't be so cold, and she's like, speak for yourself, you have more body fat. It's just like zing, throwing shade.
Those scenes are really fun because lots of times they're arguing in the background off camera, and like even the Japanese translators like can't always make everything out. So what happens is like the first couple exchanges will be in the script, but then if they're writing it, sometimes Christina and I are speaking too fast or whatever. So like Susie will just let us improvise and keep going till the end of the cut. So usually like towards the end of those scenes and stuff like that, we're just making stuff up. So
One of my favorite quotes, though, of Jupiter's was in the Snow White episode, because growing up I had heard the rumor that this line was not actually translated as to what it should have been. So growing up in the Snow White episode, they're arguing about who should play Snow White in the school play, and Jupiter's argument is that she should do it because she has the most talent. And growing up, I always wondered why she pointed at her chest and there was a boing sound effect. And so it's because originally it was because she was the most well endowed. So that was kind of fun getting to record the line as it was actually originally recorded.
Which, is also talent.
Yes, it's a talent of sorts. It makes people a lot of money, certain actresses. So, but yeah, so it was fun, especially because I got to say boobs. It's like as Sailor Jupiter. I'm like boobs. Susie's like, the director's like, okay, knock it off. So yeah, I think that's episode 56 or whatever. So if you have the DVDs, they don't know. They don't come out yet. You can't have the DVDs. That would be illegal.
When do they come out?
July 10th is, I think.
That sounds right.
The first, so it's season 2, volume 1. So it's like the first 25 episodes or something. Sailor Moon seasons are very long. So.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
I also wanted to ask, I've been wondering about this a lot ever since I've been watching Sailor Moon. I originally liked the old one, but one question was on my mind. How come they, I know Sailor Moon's name is Usagi.
Yes.
But how come in some of the English dub,
in the old English dub?
How come her name was Serena instead of Usagi?
I think that, now obviously I didn't work on it, and so this is me guessing, but in the early 90s, I think that, anime wasn't as popular, and so you wouldn't, I'm guessing the producers probably changed it to seem more Americanized so that it wouldn't be confusing to kids. They also changed Ami's to Amy, so because I think they wanted the audience to just watch it and think, oh, it's a cartoon. They don't want to be like, man, that's a weird name, and she has a weird name too, and wait, what country are they? They just wanted them to enjoy the story. So, and there wasn't the history of that much anime on TV, so they didn't know how the audience would react. So I'm guessing. I mean, if you watch Robotech, it's like Lisa Hayes and Roy, and they weren't named
Rick Hunter.
Yeah, Rick Hunter. He was not named Rick Hunter in Macro. I mean, they called it Robotech. So there was a lot of that kind of stuff going on earlier. So yeah, we are keeping all of the original names.
I think that happens, from what I gather, there's certain networks that still don't fully get it, so they realize, they think that kids are not going to watch something if they know it's from another country. So there's still there's still shows in anime that will either change names, or there was one show recently I was working on, and I won't say what it was, but they said that if there's a guy walking by in a kimono, they'll just take that scene out. Because it's just too, they're like, oh, we don't want to have to explain it to the kids why that guy's wearing a dress. It's like as opposed to, it could be a really cool teaching opportunity to be like, hey, this is a kimono. In Japan, they do this. Or there's still some editing that's done. Not as much anymore. I feel like we're now more accepting of, oh, there's other countries aside us that make entertainment.
So, do you think they'll do the same thing in Sailor Moon Crystal? Change their names again? Or?
No, I think everything that Viz is putting out right now is as close to the original intention as possible. So, yeah, so if you've seen it before, watch it again, because it's a different experience. There's no editing. All the episodes are in there. The names are the same.
Do they have them in English dub yet, Sailor Moon Crystal?
We're premiering the first 2 episodes next week at Anime Expo.
So soon.
So soon, I imagine.
Very soon.
Yeah.
Are they going to be the same as the original or different?
No, it's going to be the same. So we're the Viz cast. So we are dubbing Crystal and Classic. So Classic is the one from the 90s, and we're redubbing it unedited. So the same cast for that will also be doing Crystal, and the names are the same as the Japanese. Everything's going to be the same, except that we're going to be speaking it in English.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hello.
Hello.
Which attacks are your favorite?
I know what my attack. Well, I know what my favorite attack is only because it hasn't come out yet. But you told me about it because it sounds funny, and I don't understand how that's an attack.
Oh.
So
yeah.
my favorite attack is gentle uterus.
I told her about it at the first Moonlight party, and I was, because I'm we're sticking to the Japanese and trying to be as faithful.
Right. So
the name, I don't know.
So I guess it's gonna be gentle uterus, but I haven't seen it yet, so I'm very intrigued.
Well,
how does that work?
It's
Yeah, that's my question.
in my head. I feel like it's like a Midol commercial. Like it's just like calm down those
Gentle
cramps,
uterus.
gentle uterus. But I think is that Star. It's one of the Starlight's attacks. Star Healer. Anybody know? Fighter, Maker, Star Maker. Thank you. I haven't
So-
seen all of it, so.
But out of mine, it would be the whole transformation thing because I would love to turn into a pretty anything.
You are pretty. My favorite attack to say, I mean, we've only done like, the first 2 seasons or whatever, but like my favorite attack to say is Sparkling Wide Pressure, but my favorite attack to see so far has been Jupiter Thunder Dragon, which I only ever use once. And I feel like if I got to use Thunder Dragon every time, there'd be no need for them. I'd be like, don't worry guys, I got this. I've got a freaking dragon made out of lightning.
What is this, like a spin-off show? You don't need them. It's just
Like
all you.
it's like Jupiter. It's like that'd be kind of a funny like spin-off. It's like just a girl alone in the world, Sailor Jupiter, and it'd be like Mary Tyler Moore or any of those shows. It's like an office comedy. Yeah.
If Sailor Moon and Sailor Jupiter were to team up with another character that also have their respective powers, what characters would you choose?
Another character in the show or in like
No,
another
any other
Wait,
medium of
and
entertainment.
it would be a guardian or not a guardian?
And any other means of entertainment, such as
any other entertainment. So if somebody not from Sailor
Oh,
Moon,
not
if we were
okay.
to team up.
Okay, like if we made
So I have lightning powers. You've got the power of love and
Yes, I
all
don't
that.
really know what she does. It somehow fixes things.
Love fixes everything.
It fixes everything. I don't know the exact power though.
So I guess we have brawn. We've got heart. We need mind.
We need brains.
We need brains. Yeah, that's true. Especially because we're both the ones who are like, Ami, help us cheat on the test, but we
Yes,
can't use Ami
exactly.
right now.
So
Who's smart?
who's really smart?
Iron Man. Yeah, Iron Man or Bruce Banner. No, because Bruce Banner.
yeah.
Bruce Banner could be both. He could help me like with the muscle stuff,
I'd say like
but he's also smart.
Professor X.
But that's true. Oh, that's true.
He would be really smart.
because he could like control their minds
Yes.
and also be like the leader because
Yeah.
we're both incompetent. We both
Yeah.
argue over boys.
I like these like X-Men Marvel crossover Sailor Moon.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
This is, yeah. We have a lot of things to pitch to a lot of studios.
Yeah,
after
I mean,
this
there's
Q&A.
some people here. We could maybe like some of the guests. We're like, hey, can
Perfect.
you tell this to Marvel? We need a crossover, like stat. You're BFFs with Stan Lee, right?
Thank you.
Thank you.
May I ask three questions?
Sure, okay.
Okay, what's your favorite version of Sailor Moon? The old one or the crystal one?
I like the classic. That's me.
Oh, sorry. I thought you said it was directed to Sailor Moon.
Both of you. Both.
Okay. It's weird. There's certain episodes of Crystal that I like better. But I feel like on the whole, I feel like classic is just kind of more fun all around.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. But I love the action in Crystal. Like I love that the attacks aren't canned, and so the attacks are always different every time. And I really dig that. And I kind of sometimes I like really angsty stuff. So I like them both, but I think classics got a special place in my heart.
That's cool. Have you ever get a chance to meet the original voice actors? Or no?
Can you repeat that?
Have you met
the original voice actors of Sailor Moon, the original one?
We did not do it 20 years ago, no.
Yeah, have you met
She wants to
them?
know if you've met them.
Oh, have you
Oh,
met
I've
them?
met-
Oh.
I met them at SAC Anime this past year.
I've met some of them, but not all of them. For Sailor Moon, I've met Linda, but I haven't met Terry or the other.
I don't think Terry does cons. I think
So.
I think I've never met Venus or Mercury. I don't know how often they travel.
And I met Toby.
Yeah, I met Toby, Susan, who's amazing. She was the original Jupiter, and Katie, who is Sailor Mars.
I've met Reno, but totally separately, like before I was even Sailor Moon.
I think I met
him.
Vince, who was one of the other Tuxedo Masks. So
So
we've collectively
we've met them. Yeah, and they're all super nice, super nice.
That's cool.
It was cool because we got to talk hockey because nobody in America likes hockey, but Canadians love it.
That's
Yeah,
cool.
they're Canadian.
It will be a good chance that the uncovered version of Sailor Moon and Crystal will be on Toonami.
I have no idea.
I've been talking about that. I was like, I think that'd be so cool to be like to return it to its home where it's like originally.
Like,
got
you guys
popular.
should write your
Write to Cartoon Network
Toonami
and
people.
Toonami and be like, yo.
I was gonna say write your senator, but
But-
no.
Write your
version.
senator.
Write your senator about Sailor Moon being on Toonami.
Yeah, put an uncovered version like they did for Kill Out Kill. Like they did it uncut and everything. And for Naruto and Kill la Kill, maybe they should do an uncut version of Sailor Moon in there too.
Well, this is technically the uncut.
And for Tamami.
I think it'd be awesome. Or like even if they were to do like, I don't know, I'm like plotting it out, but I'm like Toonami, they play that like on Saturday nights, like it's more of a late night thing. So maybe they could put Crystal on that one because it's a little more adult, and then like in the afternoons during their normal cartoon block, they could have classics, so like the new generation of kids can get into it. That's my strategy. Tell Cartoon Network.
That's a good idea.
Thank
you so
you.
much. You guys are awesome.
Hi.
Hello.
You guys actually voice act in another anime that is one of my favorites.
What
Sword
is
Art.
it? I was gonna say it's gotta be Sword Art because what other
And I know I love Sailor Moon as well. But from a voice actor's point of view, do you like having your main characters and then having some as the secondary characters as well, or do you always want to have like the bigger parts, or do you like a combination of the two?
I don't think in terms of big parts or small parts. I kind of just think in terms of like rich characters or interesting characters. Some of the characters I had the most fun playing, like Akira Kogami from Lucky Star, like isn't even like technically in Lucky Star. You know, like she's at a little skit thing at the end. But so for me, it has more to do with like the characters. You know, there are no small parts, only small actors. And I'm a very small actor actually. So.
Yeah, I feel like it's the same with me. I like interesting characters, and I feel like I actually used to not want to be leads at all because I always felt like leads were boring because they're like the ingenue, like they have to kind of be the everyman. So it's like I would much rather be like the Fred and George Weasley than be the Harry Potter, you know, or whatever. But I mean, it's definitely fun to be a lead, and it's nice because it's also consistent work. But like in Fire Emblem, my character, like I was Sully and also Sheh, and like they weren't leads, but I had so much fun. So I don't know. Or I do know. I just said I know. Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's a bad filler. I don't know.
Hello, ladies. I have 2 questions. The first question is, if you weren't the Sailor Senshi that you are right now, what other Senshi would you voice if you had a preference?
Oh, if we were like to swap Senshi, I think I would probably voice Ami, just because I was like a nerdy, quiet, shy girl, so I could relate.
Very Hinata-esque.
I don't think I would use a Hinata
No,
voice.
no.
That's like a little too shy. But like, yeah.
You're like, Bubbles!
Yeah, exactly.
Bubbles!
Bubbles.
I feel like I would probably end up voicing Sailor Uranus, just because I feel like my voice isn't high enough to do anybody else's. I don't know. But also because I like playing characters that like, this is gonna be weird. I like playing characters that have balls. Like, that sounds weird. I'm not saying she does. I'm just saying she's really tough. I like characters that are tough and don't take guff from anybody. And she's got a friggin' sword with jewels in it. Like a sword. Come on now. It's awesome.
The second question is, and you may not be able to answer this, but what are the chances of you guys voice acting the Sailor Moon movies, like the R movie and the S movie and the Super S movie?
I think we can answer this.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. It was announced.
I think when they announced that Viz had the property, they said it included the movies.
Yeah, we're doing all 3 movies,
So-
all 200 episodes, the 5 seasons.
I
all
fully
that.
expect to do it.
Yeah, I'll have some strong words for Viz if we don't.
Awesome.
She's gonna thunder, dragon, lightning.
The uterus one too, right?
You'll hit him with your love power.
I'll be like, love!
But I'm angry at you.
For the love of the Sailor Moon fans.
Thank you. You ladies are awesome.
Thank you.
I have 2 more questions since there doesn't seem to be much of a line. The first one is regarding your work on Excel World. What did you think about the dynamic between your 2 characters? Because there was a lot of despair going on between Chiyu and Nomi.
I don't know. I didn't actually know who was voicing the other people.
Yeah.
So
That's the problem with dubbing a lot of times is you don't really work with the other actors, so you don't even know you're in a show
Oh
until
no,
somebody says
I
that.
meant like as far as within the show.
Oh,
like-
the characters and
Yeah,
stuff like
yeah.
that? I feel like Excel World wasn't long enough of a series. Like, I felt like I didn't really get to fully get into it. you know? So I really would have liked to see like where all their relationships went further, other than just like once they were in the game and fighting and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't seen all of it. I just know that my character is kind of a jerk to everybody. I like, do I brainwash you at some point or something? I don't know. I do something to you.
You turn her over to your side, but then she does something awesome and wins the bit.
Yes, I remember that. Jerk.
Jerk.
She wins the day at the
I
end.
win the day.
But yeah, sorry, I don't have more.
No, don't worry about it. The other question is, ever since he's gone to LA, Todd Haberkorn has done a lot of things that have been mean to some of your characters, like being Jadeite.
Oh, yeah.
And killing Stephanie's character, Natsu Sidoni, and denying Johnny Young, Basha, Stephanie love again.
Todd Haberkorn!
Yeah. So I guess that's what you think of it. What?
He's getting like a shiver. He doesn't know why.
Somebody's cursing me.
Yeah, he's like, who is cursing me?
No, don't worry. I love Todd. It's just that ever since he's been to LA, it's been like some really mean villains.
I guess his voice just lends it to that. I don't know.
It's kind of funny to me because when he was still working with Funimation, he was a lot of heroes, but now he's in LA and
maybe just that's LA people like are typecasting him.
Yeah, or maybe the way he compares to LA actors' voices is different than the way he compared to Funimation actors' voices. So sometimes it's like, oh, you compared to this person, you sound like the villain, you sound like the hero, and sometimes it gets flipped.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Matt Mercer is my villain. Like, I feel like every voice actor either gets paired, like sometimes you get coupled up with voice actors all the time. Like, I feel like me and KG Tang always end up playing, like, he's like my baby daddy in one show, and like we're always couples. But then Matt Mercer is always my foil. Like, he's always like taking stuff away from me. His characters in one way or another. So I think that's
Thank you.
interesting.
All right, I think we have time for these last two questions, and then we got to wrap it up.
Hello, I'm Samantha. I wanted to know if there was ever a scene that was very difficult to do in Sailor Moon, like emotionally.
She's thinking.
Oh, do you have yours already?
Well, I mean, she like so far, Usagi's had some pretty emotional scenes, a lot of crying and losing, having to losing her love, and then. But it's not been too difficult. Like, it's all stuff that I could like tap into, so it wasn't like it was hard to do, I guess. But yeah, it's so dramatic. I think what's the most difficult right now is we're working on the classic Sailor Moon stuff, and we're also working on Crystal, and sometimes we bounce back and forth. And I really do get confused whether or not Mamoru and I are dating.
At which
I
timeline?
don't know, because I'm like, is he mad at me? Is he pretending he doesn't like me right now? Or did we make up? Are we back together? Wait, does he know who I am? Like, because it's been so much back and forth, and in classic, they break up, get back together, break up, get back together. So I'm like so confused. I always have to ask. I'm like, wait, are we like good? Are we like not good?
For me, it wasn't. I mean, it was fun to do, but it was definitely somewhat challenging. Was the last episode of season 1, and I'll try not to give away too many spoilers, but like, the attack that I give, it was like a 6-second straight scream at the top of my lungs, and that's very taxing on your voice. But it's like within a short span of time, I do like this crazy scream, and I'm like, being like, you dare attack me with lightning, or whatever. It's like me, and then afterwards, I'm like. Guys, or like whatever, and it's like having to go from like 60 to 0 is very difficult when you're trying to match mouth flaps, because you're trying to act, but she's like, that was a brilliant Oscar-winning performance. It was too long. Do it again. And you're like, oh man.
I kind of think the call-outs are kind of hard. Like, and I can yell and stuff like that, but it's because they're really long sometimes. Like, sometimes it's like, I'm saying power for a very long time at the top of my lungs. And then I run out of air.
Second wind.
Yeah.
That'd be I'd love that.
Thank you.
Hi. So if the Sailor Senshi met up with any other group of magical girls, like from Madoka Magica, how do you think that would go? Like, between the characters, like...
I think Usagi would be like really excited and happy because it'd be like new friends and what can you do, and oh, maybe you can help us fight, evil or demons and monsters so that I can go eat pork buns. And
she just delegate.
Yeah,
she's
she
like,
would be
great, other
you
magical
guys got
girls.
It? Okay, good. I'm gonna go to the arcade and eat pork buns. But I feel like maybe like Mars would be like more skeptical, or Luna would be like, we don't know who these people are, if they're villains or if they're, But I think Usagi would just be like, oh, yay, friends. And then she'd probably have a crush on everybody. They'd be like, oh, she's so pretty, or oh, she's so majestic and regal. Yeah, that's what I think.
I think Jupiter would, especially with the Madoka girls, I feel like she would not get along with Kyoko.
No.
Because Jupiter can be very trusting, but at the same time, I feel like she tends to also, the first instinct will be like, I don't know. Yeah, I think there'd be beef. Because I feel like Jupiter's very like about justice and about like people treating people fairly. And I feel like all the Madoka girls are kind of like much more hardened, and they're like, it doesn't matter, you have to do this thing.
The Madoka girls, though, are like kind of young, right? Or they're
all
look
the same
young.
age, right?
They're
We're all
the same
about 14
age.
in both series.
Like so much. They seem like half the height.
Says
the short girl.
The small actor.
So they seem like kids to me, in comparison, but maybe not. I don't know.
I think they draw them in Sailor Moon. They draw them like they're like 17 or 18.
Yeah, they draw
but
them
they're
really long
14-year-olds.
legs.
They're middle school girls.